Welcome to Dad's Unlocked. I'm Jeffrey Fate, and today I'm going to talk about the dangerous side effects and risks of intermittent fasting. No, not really. There aren't really that many big risks. I've looked around and I've thought about it myself, and I do not have any risks associated with my experience of doing intermittent fasting, but you may have heard of some, and I think a lot of them are FUD, or fear, uncertainty, and doubt, that are spread by folks that don't understand, don't know, don't want to change, or entities that have a, uh, a dog in the fight, so to speak. They want to sell you more food. They want you to eat more often. They don't want you to fast. They don't want you drinking water. They want you drinking their products. They want you eating their products. So I'll go over a small list of things that may come up when you're wondering whether or not this is healthy. Um, the sad thing is, this list that I've come up with is not something that you would necessarily be afraid of when you look at it. So this should be fun. The first thing is hunger, weakness, and tiredness. Yeah, I'm gonna die. No, you'll just get maybe some shakes at the most, I think, if you're uh, stopping eating or not eating as early. Um, that's just your body adapting to the new way of life. It won't take very long. Most people, I think, would take less than a week to overcome that, and then you want to extend your fasting even more once you've adjusted to that. The next one is overeating or eating unhealthy foods during the eating window. Yeah, that is a big risk, actually. The great thing about fasting, though, is even if you do overeat or eat unhealthy foods, that's fine. Don't worry about it. I mean, obviously the goal is to eat healthy and to not eat more than you need or more than you want to eat. But if you do, so what? Um, your body's going to adjust to that. The great thing about fasting is that it literally doesn't matter nearly as much what you're eating when you're eating. It doesn't have as big of an impact on you. Um, and I'll come up with some hard research. There's an article that I'm getting these from where it has links to research. But if people are like, "No, you're lying," I'll come up with some real research and narrate it to you if you need it. So we'll stop with that one. The next one is heartburn or reflux, and that's just coming from overeating. So if you're eating too much, you're going to get some heartburn or some acid reflux. But that may also have something to do with what you're eating. Listen to your body, and if your body doesn't like tomatoes or wine or some of those more acidic things, then stop eating them or don't eat them as much. I have a problem with peanut butter. I really love it, but my body does not like it. We'll put it that way. So it's been a struggle to give that up, but it's the same thing with anything else that's going to give you those kind of reactions. It doesn't have anything to do with the actual fasting. It's more about what your body does when it reacts to the food that you're eating, whether or not you're fasting. Another thing that's not on this list, this is a very kind of sad list, actually, of more concrete medical, biological things, and that's it. That's the end of the list. But there are other mental or situational things, like social. So if you're fasting like me and only eating between well, like today, I only ate between 12 and 1:30. If you're only eating in that tiny little window, and then you try to do something with your family, breakfast or dinner, then yeah, it becomes a problem. What I've done is just, we don't do those big social events all the time, so I just do it anyway when it happens, like once a week, once a month, once every 2 weeks. You go out and you have a great time with your family, and you go eat what they're eating when they're eating, and then you just hop back on the train the next day. Not a big deal. Another thing is they're definitely cravings, right? They're cravings. Like one of my biggest cravings is popcorn. So I'll make popcorn for my wife and my son, and I'll want to eat it because it smells so good and it makes the house smell like popcorn for a long time. But I've just developed a discipline and a habit of not eating during my fasting window. So those are the main things that are have been shown to be problems by people and myself, and they're not that big. You just got to take one at a time, one step at a time, and there are ways around all of these things. So take that for what it's worth and think more seriously about starting to fast because it frees up a lot of time. It's healthier. You'll live longer. You'll have much healthier I don't know, measurements, I guess. So, for an example, I went and gave blood, and this may be a combination of things that I do, but I gave blood. It took 4.5 minutes to give a pint of blood. I mean, most people it takes like 20 minutes. So there are just these little things that come up. My blood pressure is really low usually. My heart rate is really low, but that's probably more exercise. But in general, it keeps your body in a state of like fitness without doing any exercise. Put it that way. So think about that when you're having this having this conversation with yourself about doing it, or wanting to give up on it if you're already doing it. Just it's the long game. I know it's not the easiest thing, but it's the long game. And I'll talk to you dads next time.